I've been getting a lot of people asking me questions about the Shibata Okada match and what that was like to see live. And maybe you could give your take, because I was both blown away and sort of horrified by the brutality that I witnessed.
I've always been, Regal had said it to me, a few years ago that, about being more a fan of pantomime. And I always tend to have my wrestling kind of centered around that. But again, different tastes. Everyone's tastes are different. I enjoyed the match. I enjoy watching, these men overcome the odds, overcome the hole that they dig for themselves when they say, go ahead and hit me as hard as you can. And I'm going to stand here and take it, and then I'm going to hit you as hard as I can, and we'll see where we are after this. I kind of like that. My taste had broadened a little bit. This was 38 minutes of just, up and down action from two guys that, I wasn't sure what kind of pairing we would have, because there hadn't been a lot of interaction between the two. But it wound up being a marvelous match. Shibata showed he's a better wrestler. Okada can take a punch and has, just incredible resilience and leaping ability. Used his legs and eventually got the win. But what we saw afterward was kind of bothersome from, because we were right there. We walked into, Shibata laying on the ground, and it wasn't good.
No, because we had to walk through the curtain, Lance, right where, because Shibata had fallen down right behind the curtain. And we literally, actually, it was difficult for us to get to the back without kind of stepping over him. So we kind of stepped to the side and we're watching this kind of unfold. And yeah, it's always hard to watch one of the boys down. And of course, at that moment, you're kind of like not sure what you're seeing, right? So very disturbing. And the headbutt, even with my headphones on, the sound of that headbutt is unlike anything I've heard in wrestling.
It's rough. Seen him do it dozens of times. Not dozens, but many times. Enough to know, I never would want that to happen to me. It's happened inadvertently in my life a few times. You're playing sports and you crash heads with someone, and it sucks. I've seen him do it with Ishii. I've seen him do it with Makabe, I believe, Goto. And those guys have done it with each other. They make a big deal, at least on some level, of the closed fist is verboten in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would kind of lean towards, let's get rid of that headbutt. Let's not have that anymore. And I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, because as we know right now, Shibata's still in the hospital, I believe. There's speculation on whether it's a complete straight-up shoot or a little bit of a work, but the reports I'm hearing are people talking about whether he's actually ever going to wrestle again. Like, he's supposedly suffered a pretty serious injury from this.
We talked about that, Don, a little bit as we were standing there.